Hello and welcome to episode 12 of the Liberland Show. I'm your host, Adam J. Carswell. Today we are joined by the co-founder of Liberland, First Lady Jana. Jana, it is a pleasure, absolute pleasure and honor to have you here on the show. Do you have any opening remarks for our listeners?
Hello, Adam. Good evening, Liberlanders. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you for your invitation.
Absolutely. And I know it was kind of funny. I want to joke about what we just discussed, but Jana was kind of like, yeah, I'm the person at Liberland that does all the work that no one else wants to do. And so that's another reason why we definitely love her. So thank you for doing all that dirty work, Jana.
You're very welcome. I'm always here.
Now, can you also fill us in? Because I believe you are expecting the delivery of a child soon. What's going on right now?
The belly is big already. Oliver, that is how the child is going to be named.
All right.
We are expecting Oliver by every day to come. Yeah. And I'm really, really, really looking forward.
And we're looking forward to the day Oliver when he grows up, he can go back and listen to this interview and hear how his mom was doing right before he came into the world.
Yeah, it will be cute and nice.
Well, Jana, I want to get to the questions that we have for today. So my first question for you is, how did you begin your journey as a Liberlandian?
Yeah, my journey began a couple of months before, actually. We had a friend whose name is Jiří. He often came around for a visit and talked so many times about founding a new tax-free country. He was amazingly well prepared with everything, like flag and the website and so on. All we really needed to do was to actually go through with the idea. So on the 13th of April 2015, it was touched down on the Liberland soil. But actually the journey started a few days before going to Liberland, because we had to drive from Czech Republic through Slovakia to Hungary to Serbia before Liberland. We went through Serbia because the journalist we was with actually wanted to visit Serbia and try the Balkan cuisine and also the nightlife. Why we wanted to go through with Liberland? Well, it's because we, like so many people, have all been disappointed with our own homeland and how the taxes has become a tax hell. Before Liberland, I was actually working as a freelancer, a free massage therapist, because I always like to be free and independent. You are also your own boss. You steer your own time, and you also have a much more comfortable life. But in the Czech Republic, you have to pay high taxes even if you earn zero that month. Of course, I do know that out of that taxes, there are many people being supported by these fees that we pay for not even try to do any work that month. As for Reed, he used to be a financial analyst while studying political science. It was an Austrian school of economy he went to. They spelled out many famous libertarian names every day. That it was really how he started to think freely and fight the wrong system. So his libertarian thinking was already sown a long time ago. Mm-hmm. With regards to Jiří, he was extremely motivated to make some changes in this world because he was running his own business already. He knew there was something wrong because he was paying huge taxes, and yet there are these free riders on the social system that keeps on growing and growing, and there seems to be no end to satisfy their want for more. And these free riders don't think about how the other end has it. That it is because of people like Jiří who pays for these taxes that keeps on increasing in a painful circle with no end. So one day, Jiří came again, and this time he said, "Here is my Audi and some money for travel expenses, and now go and make Liberland live." So we took two other friends and went to the place on the map that was considered as one of the rare places still here on Earth that is still resting. But until the day we really planted the flag into the very soil of the land, I considered the mission as just another crazy idea.
Wow. Jana, that kind of goes hand in hand with the next question I had for you, because that sounds like a unique experience within itself. So can you tell us about maybe another unique experience that you've had since working with Liberland?
Well, there is so many, and they are like one after another, actually, because the beginning was full of strong experiences and emotions, as you can imagine. As I mentioned, There was a friend who traveled with us, the journalist. His name is actually Radim. He was the one who wrote a short press release about the creation of a new country. And it is actually thanks to him that the message spread like a forest fire around the world much sooner than we made it back home. When we got back home, after having barely slept, the doorbell was ringing and phones was ringing non-stop for following 7 months after creating Liberland. But unfortunately, Yuri's professional mailing system gave way after receiving thousands of emails. It really isn't surprising, of course, but just imagine the information overload that even machines can't handle. Our small 2-room flat with a wide terrace changed into 24/7 office overnight as well. Groups of journalists were meeting without end, and a flow of volunteers and people interested were all like working in shifts, so to speak. And we were on top of each other like ants trying to create this colony, this idea. Liberland, the freest country in the world. During this period, I was in charge of all the people going in and out of the flat. I sorted, discussed, and connected them with each other according to their skills, time, and options, like a tangled web in this great chain of Liberland volunteers. I kept them nourished with pizza, beer, and coffee. And all this from my personal budget. When I needed to take some rest, I went back to doing my therapy. Some of the things that went on in the office was, for example, Yuri's team completing a list of all countries in the world, buying a luxury paper, making stamps, systematically sending diplomatic letters, which were carefully written according to each country, according to local protocol, or at least we hoped so. On one occasion, Vít and I actually used a couple of hours to dress ourselves up elegantly in an outlet store, rang our volunteer driver and bodyguard all in one, jumped in a borrowed black limousine, and delivered the diplomatic note to the Croatian embassy in person. And hard to believe it, but yes, they actually refused us. Among many different things our team was preparing was a mission called Exodus. The goal of Exodus was to set up a permanent settlement on the ground of Liberland. We were able to find, for example, a man with a truck who brought a huge electric generator. We found 2 cooks with a field kitchen, tents, quilts, and all the people and equipment we would need for a comfortable stay in the middle of the jungle of Liberland. We also bought from the donations our first aluminium boat that was named Silverbell. Silverbell and I became very close friends, and all thanks to the fact that I was only one who had the boat license for driving small boats at the time. Well, before other people with licenses came, my role was determined. I attended almost every boat trip to Liberland back and forth. Since we realized the Croatian police will not let us step into the ground without handcuffs, I have to say that many times it was a deeply thrilling adventure.
Wow.
It was during this time that I actually fell in love. I fell in love with the Danube River. I fell in love with the evening noises and the gorgeous sunsets. When I was often on Silverbell, I sometimes froze and almost cried when gazing at the multiple shades of blue and pink tones in the sky and the calm and peaceful water, lightly disrupted only by the wings of birds and jumping fishes. And most amazingly of all, nothing but the deep silent forests all around. I have actually just started working with my Instagram, and if you follow me there, I will tell you how it all was. I will tell you Liberland, my beginning. Through the pictures that I will share, I will tell you the whole of how it all started, slowly as a mother, but surely.
Wow.
Part 2.
Yeah, thank you. I love how you also described how you fell in love with Liberland. I'm sure there's a lot out there that are going to feel the same way when they lay eyes on the land for the first time. But I do have to ask you, since you referenced your Instagram, how do you spell your Instagram handle so we can all go give you a follow?
Yeah, this is Jana Markovičová Liberland. It's JanaMark K-O-V-A and Liberland.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, consider yourself having gained at least one new follower today, and myself. Jana, can you tell us a little bit more about your professional background?
Yeah. Before I was a therapist, I used to work as a graphic designer, making post-production of large format photos. We printed limited editions, art on fine art papers. These prints can actually stay in their original color without changing in colors for more than 100 years. We were also able to scan and versions of precious old paintings. For example, if some fine art from, let's say, church needs renovating, it was replaced by our reproduction department until the original painting totally restored. Maybe you ask why this switch from an art to therapy. Well, it is closer than it looks. They have a lot in common. As a student of an art school, I was fascinated by acts, human bodies, postures in art. The same fascination led me to learn more about how the muscles and whole body work. And then I also started practicing the art of body yoga myself. It is much easier to help people prevent body pains when you have experienced it. After couples in the printing shop, I needed to do some physical work, as sitting behind the computer will destroy me. Of course, not to mention being a therapist gave you an earning that also had a 6-time income per hour. That's it.
Perfect. Well, it's good to know that you have that knowledge behind the scenes, because I think, again, that when you know how the human body works, it kind of allows you to know how the human mind may work. We need someone with unique insights, especially with the powerful taste in art, to help guide and lead our country. So that is reassuring to know. Jana, what advice now do you have for aspiring and ambitious Liberlandians that are listening?
I would like to quote what Witzman says. And I could not say it any better myself. We have what we support. And I say, do you want to have Liberland? Then support Liberland. If there is something I have learned and myself, and that is the importance of not giving up. Sometimes it may take 2 times. We simply have to give it another try. But the outcome will be fruitful in the end.
Yes, a very fruitful outcome in the end. Indeed, that's, I believe, the vision we all hold. And it's intriguing to know that that idea was a big part of you laying the ground back on day one. Since you've been there, since honestly before day one, before April 13th, 2015, now where do you see Liberland in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, we are already a very numerous community, actually, with a lot of powerful and productive people. It is just a question of time when these falling governmental systems will have to accept us or to be slowly, step by step, replaced by us. It is going to be a win-win for everyone, no matter what. We, every one of us, has a responsibility. We are all responsible in creating a better world, not only for us and our children, but for the next generation that comes after us as well.
Couldn't agree more, Jana. Thank you so much for sharing your words and your time with us today. I can't stress how much of an honor it is to have you on here. We look forward to circulating this information around the world. It sounds like the best way for people to get in touch with you or follow you is Instagram, correct? Is there a better or preferred way of communication?
Yes, I'm just a beginner, so be patient with me.
Okay, we'll stick with the Instagram. So you guys listening, if you want to go follow Jana, again, her Instagram name, I'll spell it out for you here, is Jana Marko. Actually, you'll have to help me on the pronunciation.
Markovicova, Liberland.
Thank you. So that's spelled JanaMarkovicova, Liberland. So go ahead and give her a follow.
Perfect. Thank you, Adam.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. This has been episode 12 of the Liberland Show. I'm your host, Adam J. Carswell, and we had First Lady Jana join us today. Thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you in the next episode.
Thank you for listening.